Another great day. Time to go for another drive, I guess. Alright, I guess let's set off. That can't be right. I don't think my passengers think it's right also. As you saw, I get no engagement, reverse or drive, or first and second. There are some noise attributed to this issue. I'm thinking it might be it's a servo issue. So if I'm able to, I don't know, dissect the servo part of it, so probably drop in the pan, removing the reverse and the forward servos, and see if the seals are bad there, because I think is the reverse servo or the forward and reverse servos, I believe if they both go bad, you will get delayed engagement, but then again, I think that can be attributed to a very, worn or old transmission, which I'm kind of already suspecting at this point that, at this point, might as well just rebuild the transmission, because, it's stuck along with this car for so long, like 60 years, especially with 2023, or almost 2024 rolling around. It's going to be 61 years old. I'd say a tall order, even for any car's transmission to work in any circumstances. But I'll try to kind of replicate the noise that I'm hearing. It's in the bell housing area. It sounds like a gurgling noise, so I'm thinking it might be a pump, a front pump, or maybe a rear pump. Maybe it's cavitating with air. But I'll try my best to show you the noise, I guess. I usually start off in second or drive, because second ignores the governor pressures with first and second. But in this case, I'm going to set it for drive. The car's coasting backwards, so there's no engagement. If I give it some gas, it'll start to come around. And I can watch my vacuum gauge for that. And there we go. Now we're off. Now it engages. Now you might be able to hear it now. It's in the bow housing area. And the RPMs are shooting up. Hear that rattling noise? I'll go around and see if I can show you that noise a little bit further. So we're going back around again. Hoping you guys were able to hear that. It's like honestly, it sounds like a cat, actually. I'm gonna go around again, see if I can show you that noise, so this is the one thing I do plan on rebuilding the transmission on my own, because I was looking around and I got the tools for cheap. I mean, not like the the Harbor Freight kind of tools. I mean, nothing wrong with Harbor Freight tools, but I don't want to skimp out on tools when I'm going to be doing this job properly. So I'm going to I believe I have some tools ready to go. The clutch drum, or the spring compressor, and circuit pliers, so that I can get the tail shaft off. And I think there are some other things. I do not have a front pump pull think it's like a slide hammer. I'll need to sort of slide hammer and some C-clip pliers. I think that's what I need. I think that might be the remaining ones, aside from I do have a transmission jack and a six ton jack, so it's going to be raising the car off the ground probably around 22 inches or so, which I think that's going to be bare minimum for the transmission to be able to come out. And honestly, I think this is going to be a very good experience for me, because for me, I think the first experience that you're able to do like some big job on the car is very important. So, and I hear that around the forums and a lot of sources that the A727 is one of the most simple transmissions you could possibly rebuild. So I'm like, okay, probably, you know, I'm probably gonna get ahead of myself and be like, yeah, I could do anything, but you know, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'll just see if I can source some more tools. I think some C-clip pliers. I don't have those yet, but I think a local guy quoted me $1,500 for transmission work, or I think it was $1,900. I'm like, yeah, you know, it's kind of hard to pass up a bargain of him. You know, he has the expertise, he has the tools, that sort of thing. So you're paying the same price with the tools that you're gonna buy. But then again, I kind of like the experience of owning an old car and tearing into it. So I think this is going to be a missed opportunity if I don't tear into the transmission myself. I think that's what a lot of people say. Yeah, you know, I fixed the transmission. It's like, well, did you personally fix the transmission, or did you just pay the guy to do it, or did you just pay a random guy to do it? Because those are two different things: doing it yourself and, you know, paying somebody to do it. Hopefully this transmission rebuild video will be on the way soon, probably in the next few months or so, but it is kind of starting to get chilly. It's mid-November now. It's gonna be December soon, so I gotta get the transmission out and rebuilt before December, the cold season hits, because, you know, working on transmission underneath the car, getting soiled with transmission fluid, probably not fun, especially when it's cold. And also, the noise is not the first gear whine that the A727s are known to make. This is a different kind of noise. It sounds rattly. It just kind of sounds horrible. Actually, it kind of sounds like it's getting no fluid in the pinions or the planetary gears. So I'll try my best to film a little bit better. Okay, so it's kind of delayed engagement there. So it didn't shift into second, or I believe it shifted into second, but that was about it. Now it's at 2,000 or 3,000 RPM, excuse me. So now it is not really shifting into third. And you'll hear the engine race. And here comes that, I think it's a sprag noise. But, you know, I'm trying to keep my head clear, don't make any assumptions, but that honestly sounds like a sprag. Like one of the rollers are out of their little cubby holes. Now I'm gonna see if you guys can listen to this. And another thing that is interesting is I smell a burning smell, which is probably the clutches. I mean, not surprising because this thing probably doesn't have any clutches left. Okay, the noise is definitely evident in first gear. I set it on first manual, and give it a listen to this. So yeah, you can hear that, and once it decelerates down just up to 5 or 2 miles per hour, it completely goes away. So this is from my perspective as I'm driving, instead of, you know, taking it down near the bell housing. Let's try it again. It's in manual first. I think you guys heard enough. So it's probably presumptuous, I guess, or presumptuous of me to ask also, or kind of consult the masses, I guess, is what do you think this noise is? If you had this noise before, what were the problems associated with the transmission? Delayed engagement, clunky noises, you know, that sort of thing. Honestly, I think Halloween season is definitely not in it for me. Like, the transmission is trying to spook me. Yeah, it's definitely doing me a spookins. Especially if the transmission making a noise like that. Yeah, happy Halloween, I guess. Here's my thoughts. Whether if this is a sprag or a clutch noise or not. The interesting thing is the transmission does not slip once it's all warmed up. Like the RPM doesn't shoot to 3,000 and then just not shift at all, or probably I'm not feeling the shifts. It could be shifting, but it's just the shift points are just all over the place, really. I did not show you this, but when I do shift into second and press on the gas to initiate the wide open throttle kick down, it'll shoot up and go back down. That kind of sounds like it's slipping. I'm not exactly confident if that is exactly slipping or not. But yeah, my idea is it could be a partially failing clutch or a sprag, because I was watching these other videos. I think his name is John. I think John Cope from Cope Racing Transmissions. He made a video. I'll link it down in the description if you're interested in that sort of thing. He did mention that A727s will not have forward or reverse. No, I believe it was forward. Yeah, I think it was forward. If you have to have an input, which is the engine power being transmitted to the engine, or to the transmission, excuse me, and then you have to have a holding force, which is the sprag. If the sprag fails, well, in extreme racing applications, you can have the sprag explode and sending shrapnel up into the bow housing and into your foot. Not fun. So yeah, instead of, they talk of upgrades that I'm thinking of doing, but that's for another video, another day. I'm thinking it might be a partially failing sprag, because if power goes in, needs a holding force, and power goes out to the differential, if one of those is not okay, or not sound, it could definitely spell that the sprag is failing. Because if the sprag just partially starts hanging on and then engages, then the car starts getting moving. But if it doesn't move, well, that can mean that the sprag is kind of like, you know, not exactly holding, let's see, I don't exactly know what that part was, but the sprag holds onto the drum, I believe that's what it was, and it's not holding. So that's why the car doesn't move, or it kind of, you know, it shudders forward and then it clamps down on it, because you can hear a audible thud when it does engage. But yeah, some ideas to throw out. I'm just kind of doing a lot of research and what the issues could be. I'm thinking it might be a sprag, but then again, I don't really know. Yeah, I'll leave that to you guys. I believe I made some issues, or I mean, some errors there. It's not that the sprag explodes, it's the sprag failure induces a transmission explosion, and I think I forgot to mention that. The part that fails is the clutch drum. I believe it's the shell that explodes, because it's allowed to free rev when the sprag fails. Sprag failure induces the free rev of the shell, or the clutch shell. I believe that's clutch drum I think. That is able to spin at 2 times the speed at engine revolution. So let's say 5,000 RPM. That's spinning at 12,000 or 10,000 RPM, more than what the stock drum can handle on transmission. So yeah, just to kind of clear up that issue, it's not that the sprag failure, or the sprag fails, I mean, in the sense shrapnel up. No, it's a drum that fails, and then sends the shrapnel upwards into the driver's compartment. Anywho, yeah, I just kind of wanted to get that straightened out. I think that's going to be it for this video. But yeah, please comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.